Good morning from London. Down here for a couple of days and actually going to go pick up my new camera. So today is new camera day.
Day? No, 2 days.
And
I'm on the vlog.
I'll actually put you on it if you...
No.
She doesn't really want to be on the vlog. But anyway, yeah, it's day one. We're going to do a bit of exploring and part of the day is going to collect my new camera, which I ordered last week. And I'm collecting it in London. Yeah, I'll show you what I got. It's pretty exciting, or at least I'm excited. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a good day. Check this out. Isn't she lovely? So, as you can probably see, I made a new purchase. Talked about doing this for a long time. Been saving up for a long time for it, and yeah, finally decided to pull the trigger on the Sony FX3. I'm so happy I did it. I've been kind of saving up and thinking about doing this for a long time. I'm really happy to have it. I've only took it on a couple of like test shoots, so I'll show you some of the footage from that. I can talk about some of the things I like about it, some of the features that I think are going to be really useful for me, and a couple of things that I wish that I suppose were a little bit better. Hope you guys enjoyed. So we are currently in the gym and here with Ryan. You've met Ryan before in a previous video. We're going to be trying out the FX3, doing some tests with it. I've actually not really done anything with it yet, so this will be kind of first test. I want to test out a few different things, see what it can do really, so yeah. Okay, so here we are, it's the FX3 set up. We're shooting in S-Log3. How does it look? How are the colours? How is the dynamic range? I can see the little box in my eye tracking me, so we're all good there. First impressions of the camera, I absolutely love it. It's such a step up from the A7 III. It's obviously a really big step up in price range, so you kind of got to expect that it's going to have better quality and a lot better features. Immediately upon having it, when I hadn't really set anything up, I kind of just default put the camera into Sony's new picture profile, which is S-Cinetone. Now, S-Cinetone straight out of the camera looks unbelievable, and this is a really handy thing to have if you, I don't know, if you're on a shoot that you don't really have time to shoot it in S-Log3, you don't have time to do the post-processing and, you know, grade it, and you just want to deliver the footage to a client, or you're just really trying to turn something around fast. S-Cinetone is great. It's a great thing to shoot on, and I'm really happy that I have that option for my shoots. Another thing that I noticed kind of straight away when I was in London was how good the stabilisation was. Again, I have stabilisation in my lens as well, so that plus the in-body stabilisation in the actual camera is really great. I think it's a bit of an improvement on the A7 III. You can definitely feel that. It's sort of less jittery and things like that. That might also have to do with the camera's a little bit heavier because of the top handle and things like that. Not to mention active stabilisation, which is a setting in the camera. Now, you put this on, I think it's a 10% crop into your footage, which doesn't really bother me because I'm only going to use active stabilisation if I'm getting a specific shot where something needs to be tracked, where I need to walk, something that might be close to a gimbal movement. You can pretty much pull off a pretty smooth shot just walking, holding the camera. I got this shot in London where I was kind of walking through one of the archways in Chinatown, and this was literally me just walking with the FX3, not this, the FX3. Literally just walking, not even really doing like the kind of weird ninja walk that you see people do, just walking in a straight line and slowly sort of tilting the camera up and up and up and up. Now, I did it with active stabilisation on, used a little bit of warp stabilisation in Premiere Pro, and I got this shot. And I think being able to get a shot like that just on the fly is such a powerful tool to have. So another thing is the autofocus. I can see it grabbing my eye right now and not really letting go no matter what I do. The autofocus in this camera is crazy. it is so much better than the A7 III. And I thought the A7 III had great autofocus, and it still has great autofocus. I think if you are doing video shooting and you're used to manual focusing and you kind of stayed away from autofocus in the past, if you've got a system like this, I wouldn't be scared of using it, because it is honestly, it's almost like you have a focus puller at times. It is quite amazing. Another thing that you really need to mention, which is one of the main attractions to this camera for me, is the colour science, the improved Sony colour science. Sony always kind of got a slightly bad rap for their colour science, and I can kind of see why when you compared it to Canon maybe like 4 years ago and things like that. But with the improved colour science and the fact that you can film in 10-bit 422, you can see just the depth of the colours they're far richer, and when you bring it into your editing software, the amount that you can push and pull those colours is increased like significantly. No longer am I like trying to push colours a little bit too much and then the image like just breaks apart. That isn't happening anymore. As long as I get my exposure right and things like that, the amount I can actually grade this into like a specific look is quite amazing. That runs nicely into the improvement of the codecs and the different frame rates you can shoot on. Now, I do a lot of run and gun shooting, so a lot of it is 25 frames a second, 4K, and then switching to slow motion to get whatever shots I want in slow motion. That happens all the time on my shoots. And to be able to now do 4K, 120, 10-bit colour, like, it honestly looks fantastic. I'm a bit of a sucker for slow motion, so being able to do this in 4K now, not having to drop down to 1080p like on the A7 III, yeah, a big attraction for me, and I'm really happy to have it. I absolutely love having the zoom rocker on the top. I've set this to clear image zoom, so that gives me like an extra, I think it's like a 2 times crop, or maybe it's more than that. I'm probably wrong. But being able to have this on the camera, if I wanted a little bit of, you know, extra reach and being able to zoom in without sacrificing any quality, that's just a nice thing to have sort of in your back pocket. So as you guys can probably tell, I'm pretty excited about the camera. I don't really have a bad word to say about it. I've not really ran into too many issues so far. I love the top handle. I love having that there. I love the fact that you have the ability to record with XLR audio. That's going to come in really handy for things like interviews, sort of more professional client work. The only thing I would say is that if you're considering buying the FX3, be aware that the memory is expensive and you need a hell of a lot of it. That is something that I didn't really think about until it was kind of last minute, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to spend X amount of money on memory cards and X amount of money on storage space. These codecs are really data hungry, and you know, you can really quickly use up a hell of a lot of memory. So you're going to need a lot of space in the cards and a lot of space to store it. I was swithering between the cards, but I ended up actually buying one of the CFast cards from Sony. Now, these were extremely expensive. The 80 gig one I got was, I think it was just over £200, which is crazy expensive for 80 gig. With those cards, it allows you to film in 4K, 120, 422, I think it's called Intra, I could be wrong, I'll put it on the screen. And I just thought to myself, why, if I've spent this amount of money, like £4,000 on a camera, why would I then, you know, go, not going to bother buying that card, I'm just going to leave it. And then you're hamstringing yourself and you don't really get to use that codec. I just didn't want to do that, so I bit the bullet and I bought the card. And I'm probably going to have to buy more of them because the data gets eaten up so quickly. In fact, I'm looking at the timer right now and I'm almost like, when is this going to run out? I don't know what's left on it, but it's probably going to run out pretty quickly. The only other thing that I came across that's maybe just me being a little bit silly is I felt like the flippy screen, which is unbelievable to have, didn't have it on this, and having it is great. See, being able to see myself without plugging in an external monitor, so handy. It does seem just a little bit flimsy. I know a few people have said that on their A7 IIIs that the screen wobbles a little bit. I haven't noticed that, but I have noticed that it feels a little bit flimsy, and it might worry me that that is something that might happen. Once I've been using it for a while, it might get a little bit loose. Could be wrong, but it's just the way that it feels to me. And the annoying thing is if you have something plugged into the mic jack, like I've got right now, you aren't able to turn the screen. And that kind of annoys me. You have to plug the jack out to turn it, to plug it back in. And I don't know, maybe I'm being silly, maybe there is a way around that. If I am, please tell me. But I've just kind of noticed that that's like a mild inconvenience. But if that's like the only thing that I'm complaining about, and the fact that, you know, memory cards cost a little bit of money, then, you know, it's a pretty good camera. Do you guys have the FX3 or maybe the A7S III? How do you find it? What's your favourite thing about it? Please let me know. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really excited about the camera. I can't wait to show you guys more of it, use it on different shoots and show you guys what kind of stuff I can do with it. So big life updates have happened to me recently. I'm going to be talking about that probably in my next video, so stay tuned for that. It's quite exciting and it probably could mean that there will be a lot more interesting content for the channel. So if you're interested in that, stick around for the next video. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That really helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.